Yo, what's going on, guys? Johnny GB here, bringing you guys week 3 of the ICBA, and you guys do see Showdown here. We were taking on the Melbourne Metagross and Frawls, and we had started the game on Wi-Fi, and we got it down to about 4 turns left. It would have been about 4 to 5 turns left in the battle, and we had a DC, so there was some hacks involved early game. Not a lot. It was two things of hacks really, and we really didn't want to try taking the time to recreate that on Showdown just due to how long on Wi-Fi, just because it could take a little bit longer to recreate those instances on Wi-Fi. So we came over to Showdown, and this battle pretty much is exactly what happened in the Wi-Fi battle, with the exception of one turn really. And you guys see on his screen, he has a Alolan Marowak, Tapu Lele, Mamoswine, Roserade, Miltank, and Volcanion. The one I really was underprepared for was the Miltank. I really had nothing on the team. It has Thick Fat, so Entei doesn't do much to it. And just really don't have good coverage for Entei. Miltank. Mamoswine pretty much comes in and picks something off almost every time, unless I make some predictions around it. So we're going to just start off right away. I led Jolteon here, and I had the Baton Pass because he does have the Alolan Marowak, so I did not want to let his Marowak come in for free. And we brought Stealth Rock Jirachi here, as I found out early that his Miltank was a defensive Miltank with Rocky Helmet, which really in turn hurt my Jirachi late in the game. Now, I make a double here to go out to my Blastoise, anticipating the Volcanion to come in, and I forgot to Mega Evolve actually in the Wi-Fi battle that turn, as he shows the Bloom Doom, which, whether I Mega Evolved or not, I was not living it. I had Toxic on Blastoise because I wanted to wear down the Volcanion. So in comes my Aerodactyl, and it threatens a lot of his team here. As I went for the Hone Claws in the Wi-Fi battle, I actually went for Stone Edge and missed, but just so that we could recreate it similarly, I just went for the Hone Claws just to imitate that missed Stone Edge. And here he goes Volcanion, as I just go for the Moonblast just to scout, see what his switch-in is for this thing. Now, he goes for Steam Eruption. I'm just going to Soft-Boiled. I'm going to get my HP back. There's not much that he can do. I'm just going to wear him down with the Toxic. And I know I can eat up. I'm especially defensive Clefable, mostly for this Volcanion. And Clefable will pick off the Volcanion, picking up its 3rd kill of the season. In comes Mamoswine. Now this is where I was a little confused. I wasn't sure what Mamoswine wanted to do. But I clicked Soft Boiled, and here he just went straight for the Iron Head. And at the time I wasn't thinking Iron Head Mamoswine. And my Earthquake switch-in was Aerodactyl. My Icicle Crash switch-in was Stay In or switch to Entei. So pretty much I wasn't really sure. I knew I could take Earthquake, I knew I could take Icicle Crash from Life Orb or Band. I was not thinking Iron Head, so that was very good prep on Frawl's part there, bringing the Iron Head. And the damage was banded damage from this Mamoswine, and once I figured that out, I knew I could play around it here, as I go out to Entei, and know I can click Sacred Fire at this point and deal 38 to 40% to everything on his team. And that's pretty much what it does with the Marowak once it comes in. It takes 40%, and Entei will pick up a kill, knocking out the Marowak, which allows his Miltank to come in. Now, I didn't want Entei getting weakened, because I do need it for potential Tapu Lele, so I just go out to Jirachi, and realistically, I should have just gone out to my Jolteon, because I wasn't thinking I needed Jirachi for Lele at this point. I really wasn't expecting Scarf Lele at this point in the battle, as he's just going to set up his spikes. I go for the Iron Head here, and Jirachi picks up a kill on the Roserade. Now, I have hazards on my field. My Rapid Spinner is dead. I go to Aerodactyl, anticipating the Earthquake here. And that's exactly what I do. And he goes out to Miltank as I set up the Z Hone clause. So this now gives me +2 attack and +1 accuracy. Stone Edge at this range does kill the Miltank, and I still was worried about the Mamoswine because he does have the Ice Shard here, which just forces me out into my Jirachi, when realistically Entei probably was my better switch here. Even though Lele still probably takes out Jirachi, this is where I felt that I should have just gone into Entei anticipating the Ice Shard, and then at this point Entei kills his Mamoswine, and looking at, we'll just go back a few turns here. You're going to see Jirachi, once it comes in on hazards, is at 29%, and I believe Psyshock from Tapu Lele did not kill me. I'll look at the calc here real quick, but 29%, I was specially defensive. Well, I had some HP and special defense EVs into this. I think it was max HP, 100 speed, and 156 into special defense. And looking at it, I mean, it probably killed. Actually, Psyshock would have not killed, so realistically that's what I should have done, is saved Jirachi instead of risking it on Entei, because you guys are going to see here, Jirachi's going to get picked off, and I'm going to go straight out into my Entei, and I live in Ice Shard, I click Sacred Fire, it dies, and right now I thought I was in a good spot. I wasn't thinking Scarf Lele, and I thought I had a chance if it wasn't Scarf, but he did show the Scarf once he outsped my Aerodactyl, and Tapu Lele will pick off the last 3 Mons. It really just came down to me not really thinking through the Mamo switch in, because he could have played around it with Aerodactyl, and had he gone for Earthquake and I stayed in with Aerodactyl, Aerodactyl can pretty much not really clean up, but I'm in a much better position knowing I have a Jirachi at much higher HP. I have Entei in the back going against a Lele. I mean, Lele still probably would have picked off 1 or 2, but knowing I would have had Jirachi, which was built to take on Tapu Lele, really just hurt me late in the game, and it just really was just a lack of thought process from me just in those last few turns. I felt like I played the first 21 turns very well, other than the Bloom Doom Volcanion completely spaced my mind in prep that he would bring that, and I mean, I had very little switch-ins to deal with Fralls' team. I mean, nothing on my team. My grass resist is Entei and Chestnut. Both of those don't like Volcanion. My Mamoswine switch-ins just did not exist, so I mean, my matchup was very poor, but really not being able to identify that going out into Entei probably was my better option, seeing how he really just made the safe play with Mamoswine every time. He just kind of attacked what was in front of him, and I really just didn't read that and notice that, hey, Entei can take an Ice Shard, can take 2 Ice Shards, Rocks, and Spikes damage and pick off Mamoswine, and then I have Jirachi in the back to take on Lele. Barring any hacks, I mean, yeah, Jirachi was paralyzed, so I mean, barring any hacks, saving Jirachi was my best play, but I mean, we're falling to 1 and 2. We're only -1 differential-wise, so we're not that far off. We take on Tone and the main red Klutzers next week, so check back next Monday for our Week 4 ICBA battle. Go over to the ICBA channel and check out the weekly recaps, pick 'em, and power rankings. Eventually, those will get up. Just having some difficulty scheduling those. With all that being said, guys, I'm Johnny GB, and I'm out.